Hello, my name is Jean. I am a knitter, and I'm currently working my way through level 1 of the Knitting Guild of America's Master Hand Knitter program. And this week, the big deal is my other colors of yarn have arrived. I have to do a piece that contains color work, and the mitten should be done in 2 colors. I'm at that point. So I ordered additional skeins of the butter, which is my base color, but I ordered, to go with the butter, let's go it this way. Ta-da! A green and a blue, because they look pretty good with this yellow, but not blatant primary. And I ordered a pink and a purple. Not so much of a win here. Maybe a win here. And I'm just not going there. I'm not sure the pink and the purple are going to make it into level 1. I think they might turn into something that I knit for myself when I'm finished with level 1 and I need to take a little break. But this blue and this green, oh yeah, we're going there. One of them will turn into the contrast color. I'm not quite sure which. It still should be a pale enough color that my stitches are not hidden and you can clearly identify that I have used the correct pattern. And thereby hangs another tale. I have some inexpensive acrylic yarn that I am using to work some samples in. Thank you, Minnie. I used them for my sample in the color work because I wanted to make sure that I could correctly follow the pattern. And last week, remember you said I said I needed to measure gauge and check it? Life is good. I actually started working on the gauge swatch sections of the whole program, and I realized I had to do that because I was trying to answer questions, and some of the questions required that I have completed my gauge swatches. And I thought I had done this one, but I haven't done it right. That particular little piece of thread was in the wrong place because I'm not measuring, so we'll just make sure it's better. Many of my swatches are blocked, as in most of them. I think I've only got the cable swatch and pattern, the color work, and the figure 8 join and stockinette seam to be blocked. And then I'm going to look at the directions for each swatch, examine each swatch, and verify that I have actually correctly followed the directions. I may have goofed up in choosing to use a variation of the knit style of the long tail cast on. And I would have to redo those swatches. I've got enough yarn to do it. I'm not in panic mode. I'll be fine. And yes, I am still getting gauge. Yay! I thought I had done the final cable, horseshoe cable gauge swatch number 15. I realized I'd made an error. I had only temporarily written it down in pencil before I finished it off and put it down in ink in my best penmanship. I have also done something that will make getting some of the written stuff more convenient for me. I tend to work in my nest here, and I pulled out my old netbook. Remember netbooks? Yeah. And I can work on my written stuff while sitting in a comfy chair with my puppy at my feet. And we've still got the lighting issue going on for the video because out of 5 eggs that this robin laid, I can see 2 beaks poking up. There are actually 3 baby birds in the nest, being all beak and very little body. Let me tell you, those beaks grew overnight into these cavernous mouths. And Mama Robin goes back and forth feeding them. We lost 2 somewhere, somehow, but we do still have 3 surviving babies to watch grow up. My husband is thrilled and fascinated and checks on them multiple times each day, but I can't pull the curtains back because we will then be interacting with the birds a little more than is probably appropriate. And there we have it. So, I'm actually getting to the part of the knitting samples where I am starting to doubt myself. And it's not really the color work. I did the color work sample and then compared it with some photos of finished color work samples on Ravelry. And the things I was worried about, I'm not worried about. We have a win. But it's the weird pattern at the cuff of the mitten that's stressing me out. My sample yarn, I'm very comfortable using double-pointed needles. I can't tell you how long ago I started working with them. I think I have figured it out. There were some rows with issues where I wasn't picking up to make one at the right loop. And then I read the directions and said, this is the strand of yarn that she has described. It is here. I can't pick it up with this needle tip because she wants you to use your left needle tip, and that does not work for me. I pick it up with the right needle tip. I make sure it is mounted in the correct direction, and then I can make it work. So I'm working more rows of this sample to ensure that I have the pattern right. And then I get to start on gauge swatches because the mitten is knit at a completely different gauge. So I will have to do a gauge swatch and block it and measure it and figure out what size needles I need to be using. And then I get to test cast on because the mitten starts with a little ruffled edge, and there's a question raised as to what cast on you should be using for this ruffled edge. I don't know. I've got to do more research. But I was able to document a bit more. What has also surprised me is I not only document for the swatches, I have to document when I answer my questions. So thank goodness many of the questions are referring back to particular swatches that I have carefully documented so I can answer. I can find where I looked it up without having to kill myself and go through everything all over again. I can start with that reference and then move forward. I will also say that I am quite pleased that while all of the parts of this mitten have been, all the different stitches have been documented. Oh yeah, I think I got it. Let me keep going another couple rounds and then I'll be sure. But I'm realizing it's the writing that's going to take the longest part. It's not the knitting. And I did the right thing to very carefully document as I was knitting my swatches, because that's going to help everything else in the long run. Yay, I've been good. I'm making progress. And it's not going to be so much knitting as it is typing away like mad and careful editing. When I write my patterns, I have to follow the template, and the template requires that I place every single random piece of punctuation perfectly. That takes a little bit of time, and it takes careful typing, and I'm not just going to say attention to detail, I'm going to say fanatical attention to detail. If I'm going to be graded on where my commas go, I'm going to try to check those commas very, very carefully. But what I'm needing right now is time at the keyboard, more so than I need time with my knitting needles and time blocking swatches. So that's what I get to do. And I don't have to wander off into the basement or try to type on the iPad keypad. I've got a regular keyboard I can use. I think that's going to work. I really think that's going to work. Little at a time. Oh, wait, I can see. Oh, Mama Bird just took something away from her babies and flew away with it. She's picky about what she feeds them. Fortunately, we've had enough rain recently, the ground is damp, and she can easily get to worms. Because that's mostly what she brings, and it's not really fun to watch. Ugh. Until we see each other again, please give me some encouragement. I'm feeling like I don't really want to sit and type. I wanted to knit, but I have to sit and type. Keep knitting, guys. Keep knitting.